So guys, here we are today. We're with Team Alchemy member Kenyon Neuman, who has just qualified for the 2012 Olympic trials, which are going to be held in Houston in January at the Houston Marathon. He did so by getting, what was your position? In the seventh?
Seventh.
And a 104.51? 50.
104.50.
104.50, the San Jose Rock and Roll Half Marathon last weekend in San Jose. So, how was it?
It was good.
Yeah?
Good. We had a bunch of guys just trying to get under the standard there, so had a big group of people just right on pace to get under 65, and so yeah, we were just cruising. I think maybe we had 5 guys by the end in this group trying to dip under, and probably early on in the race there were more like 10 guys in that group. So
did you have did you know how close you were? Did you know you were 10 seconds under?
No, I thought I was. I thought we were going to be closer to 64.
Really?
Low. Yeah, at the finish, maybe it's like 64.30 or 64 or something. But no, yeah, we came around the corner and we were a little slower than expected. I think I was looking at splits on my GPS, and I had the course along on my GPS. Not because the course was long, I don't think. I think just because we're not taking the tangents and things.
Right.
And so I was thinking we were going to come up on the finish line sooner, and I thought we were well under the time, but it still worked out.
It's all good.
Yeah.
What? So leading up to the race, how are you feeling prep wise?
I don't feel very good.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks leading up to the race, I didn't think 65 minutes was going to be a problem at all, and then I started. My legs weren't feeling so hot for a couple weeks, and so I was starting to get a little worried. And I was thinking maybe instead of gunning for 64 minutes, I should just be aiming to be on pace to run 64:45 or 64:35 or something.
Yeah. But you felt, leading up to it. So as a race day, did you feel?
Oh yeah, I felt good.
Okay,
I felt good in the race. Yeah, I felt fine. I was cruising. The miles didn't feel too bad.
And how was it going out with a field like that? What did you think of the other guys in the field?
Oh, like the guys who were like Mev and the other guys up front, we weren't really in contact with them at all. They took off. They were kind of racing to win the thing, and our group. It was kind of like running with a team. We were all just kind of working together. The goal for everyone in our group was just to get under 65. So no one was really trying to drop anyone else. No one was throwing surges. So it was really ideal for running fast or being on pace to get under a certain time. So it really didn't feel like too much work. It was pretty relaxed, and had some guys around me who were we knew we were on pace, and we knew we just kept it up and get under. So
what did you feel? How did you feel about the course?
The course was really fast.
Yeah,
I felt like the course was definitely a quick one. If you want to run a fast half marathon, Rock and Roll San Jose. I felt like there was a lot of gradual downhill, and I felt like we were going to go back up at some point. Never really seemed to go back up. We had a couple gradual uphill miles, but it didn't slow us down too much, and they really weren't too bad. So it's a really fast course.
Are you planning on now, between now and January? What's the date exactly of the Houston Marathon?
It's the Olympic Trials Marathon is January 14th.
And then the Houston Marathon is the next day, right?
Yeah. I think so. I'm not totally sure.
So in between now and that race, are you going to race at all? Or are you just kind of training? You are racing?
Yeah.
So what are you doing next?
I think I'm doing... I may do a half marathon in the next few weeks again, and just try to race for a fast time. And then I think I'll do a race on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And then I'm planning to do Rock and Roll Las Vegas, the half marathon.
Right.
As kind of a prep for the trials, and try to run fast. I think it should be a pretty fast, pretty loaded race. So. Hopefully it's really fast. Hopefully a lot of the guys who are going to be running the trials are there. Yeah. And because I'd like to get into a real competitive race like that and just run for time and deal with the tactics of the whole thing. And
is that race is that something people generally turn up for in an Olympic year, or has it even been around in the Olympic year?
No, I mean last year I think the Olympic trials marathon was in New York in like November.
Right.
So people were kind of doing their little tune-up races elsewhere. Right. I think some people did San Jose.
Okay.
And some other people maybe did. There's another half marathon people were doing. But
Philadelphia is pretty close to
it.
it.
Yeah, maybe Philadelphia, San Jose, and then I don't recall, but yeah, I don't think it's been just this year. Now that the trials are in January,
right?
It's I think it's going to be a bigger deal.
Now, have you done a lot of research into the course in Houston?
I actually ran the USA Half Marathon Championships last January in Houston. Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be on the same course as that the Olympic trials are on.
Right.
But I believe they made some changes because there were a lot of U-turns and there were some things that really kind of slowed the course down, I think.
Yeah.
It was a much more challenging course than people thought.
Right.
And so I've got a good feel for kind of where it's going to go, but I think there are going to be some changes. I think if anything, it's just going to be a little faster. So, I got a good feel for it.
Good.
Yeah.
So now, in talking to people about trials, about actually going the next step, I've heard that, and I don't know from this field, but I've heard that there's a lot of politics that kind of goes into it, and it's not just as simple as to get into the trials, it's as simple as going sub 65.
Yeah.
But to go to the next step, you have to get an A standard. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And you have to get top 2 or 3 or something like that.
You have to get top 3 at the trials. I actually don't know what the A standard is in the marathon. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Or if you can qualify in a half. But I mean, I think my goal is basically to try and hit that standard at the trials.
Yeah.
So I don't think, if I'm recalling correctly, I should know, but I think I don't think the marathon time was as kind of like daunting, or it wasn't as impressive as maybe like the A standards for the
shorter distances.
Yeah, for like the 5K and 10K and things like that. But I don't know for sure. I really shouldn't say because I don't know. But yeah, I got to check it out.
Well, because there is no half marathon in the Olympics.
No,
it's just the marathon.
Yeah.
Well, how did you feel? I mean, did you feel like coming out of San Jose? Do you feel like you could have gone quicker? Do you feel like you were just really, really fit and on just having a great tempo run?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I don't feel like I'm in fantastic shape right now. I think I have a lot of.
I think that's relative. Sorry.
Well, for me, yeah, I don't feel like I'm in really my best shape right now. Right. And I think over the next few weeks, kind of leading up to the trials, I'll get there. But yeah, it wasn't really an all-out effort. I was just kind of staying on pace, and I thought about picking it up a few miles out because there were some guys up in front of us. Meb was way out front. I couldn't even see him, but everyone else was kind of, I think another guy, he wasn't really in range. He was maybe a little less than a minute in front of us, but some of the other guys, we could see him, and I was thinking about kind of trying to run him down and bridge that gap, but I didn't want to, at mile 10 or mile 9 or something, try and start dropping some fast miles and then really blow up at the end, because like at Houston last year, I blew up on the last mile and I ran 65:36, and the last mile was probably the difference. But that was a harder course than San Jose for sure. But I just didn't want that. I didn't want to blow up on the last mile and miss the mark. So yeah, I was. It felt pretty relaxed. I was happy with how hard the effort was.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so when you say you're doing like a race on Thanksgiving, you're doing like a turkey trot type thing, like a shorter distance race, or you're doing like a half or 10K or something?
No, yeah, something shorter. I think I'm either going to do the Manchester Road Race or Silicon Valley Turkey Trot.
Okay.
And so Silicon Valley Turkey Trot is a 5K. It's a road 5K. And that's out in San Jose.
Right.
And then Manchester is. It's 4 point some odd miles,
Okay.
but that's in Manchester, Connecticut.
Right.
And it's a pretty old race.
Nice.
Yeah, it's usually pretty stacked. So is the Silicon Valley
Yeah.
Tour.
Yeah. Well, good, man. Congratulations. Seriously,
Alright.
it's awesome. We will certainly talk to you again. Is there anything you want to mention, talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
I think that's it.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right.